To God be the glory in the highest. I greet every one of you in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ. Our subject of discussion today is Jesus, the hope of Israel. Jesus, the hope of Israel. I'm reading, our text shall be taken from the book of Jeremiah chapter 17 verses 13. Jeremiah chapter 17 verses 13. In Jeremiah chapter 17 verses 13, the Bible makes it known to us that, Lord, you are the hope of Israel. All who forsake you will be put to shame. Those who turn away from you will be written in the dust because they are forsaking the Lord, the spring of living water. Summarily, Jeremiah chapter 17 verses 13 make it known to us that Lord, capital letter L-O-R-D, is the hope of Israel. Our second text shall be taken from the book of Acts of Apostles chapter 28 verses 20. Acts chapter 8, 28 verses 20. For this cause, therefore, have I called for you to see you and to speak with you, because that for the hope of Israel I am bound with this chain. For the hope of Israel I am bound with this chain. So the speaker there is Paul the Apostle. Was talking to Israelite that for the hope of Israel he was bound with this chain. But who is this hope of Israel? This hope of Israel is Jesus Christ. The hope of Israel written in the book of Jeremiah chapter 17 verses 13 talks about Jesus. And the hope of Israel written in the book of Acts of Apostles chapter 28 verses 20 talks about Jesus Christ. How are we sure that it talks about Jesus Christ? Acts chapter 26 verses 6 made this known unto us. And now I stand and am judged for the hope of the promise of God unto our fathers. Can you see that? Now, in Acts chapter 26 verses 6 make it known to us that Paul the Apostle said that he is now being accused and judged for the hope of the promise that was made by God unto our fathers, which means the fathers of Israel. What is that hope of promise that God made unto the fathers, which are the Israelite fathers in the wilderness? That one can be found in the book of Deuteronomy chapter 18 verses 15. Deuteronomy chapter 18 verses 15, I read, The Lord thy God will raise up unto thee a prophet from the midst of thy brethren, like unto me, and unto him ye shall hearken. So the hope of the promise made by God to the fathers of the Israelites in Acts of Apostles chapter 26 verses 6 was the prophet promise in Deuteronomy chapter 18 verses 15, which is also Jesus Christ. So Jesus Christ was the one that all Israelites hope for. Now, you can see in the book of John chapter 4 verses 25, when Christ was talking with the Samaritan woman also knew that the hope of Israel to come is Christ. And that is why John chapter 4 verses 25, the woman said unto him, that is Jesus, I know that Messiah cometh, which is called Christ. When he is come, he will tell us all things. That is the hope. So this shows that Christ is the hope of Israel. Summarily, what Jeremiah 17 verses 13 said, Lord, capital letter L-O-R-D, you are the hope of Israel. And this hope of Israel was the same thing that Paul the Apostle said in Acts of Apostles chapter 28 verses 20, that for the hope of Israel I am bound with this chain. And Acts of Apostles chapter 26 verses 6 make it known to us that, and now that Paul the Apostle said he was judged for the hope of the promise of God unto our fathers, which means unto the fathers of Israelites in the wilderness, which was written in the book of Deuteronomy chapter 8 verses 15, that God said that he's going to raise up a prophet unto them like unto Moses, that him shall ye hear, which is Jesus Christ. So I'm about to tell you today that what Jeremiah chapter 17 verses 13 talks about, the Lord that Jeremiah chapter 17 verses 13 talks about, who is also called the hope of Israel, is Jesus Christ. And this does not mean that Jesus Christ was only sent to the people of Israelite, because the Bible make it known to us in the book of John chapter 1 verses 11 that he came unto his own, and his own received him not. But as men that has received him, them he has given power to become son of God. So Christ is sent to all the generation, all the world, but to the Jew first, followed by the Gentiles.